is going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Final Order Cutoff Speculation and Recommendations video. This is the video where I scour Final Order Cutoff looking for all the books that might have a little something in the guts or on the cover or somewhere that is a little bit of speculation, so that way you and me, we can try to make this hobby fun itself. But the other thing I do is I scour Final Order Cutoff looking for all the best books to pick up to read, because we love those amazing stories and we don't want to miss out with them, and then we're scrambling for them on New Comic Book Day once we hear how awesome the stories are. So I try to get ahead of it so that way you guys can let your local comic book shops know or pre-order the books online so you can guarantee you have these amazing stories. Alright guys, that is the intro out of the way. Let's not waste any more time and let's go ahead and cover these 3 weekly speculation reminders. Alright, if you guys are seasoned speculators or you guys have seen this video series before, guys, there are timestamps down in the description below. You can skip right ahead to this weekend's Final Order Cutoff cover lover picks. But if you guys are new to speculation or new to this video series, stick around and hear my 3 weekly speculation reminders. And the first one is always the most important, and that is you guys have to do your own research. I'm going to present some books to you guys today that I think might do well on the secondary market, either right out of the gate or in the future. But what I need you to do is I need you to go check out the comic book YouTubers you trust, other comic book websites that you trust, and other comic book apps that you trust. Gather the most information possible so that way you guys can make the best decisions possible for yourself. Because remember, you guys are spending your own hard-earned money on these books. It's not my money, it's your money. Now, the second reminder that I have for you guys is that there are delays with comic books, so sometimes the book's release date will get changed for one reason or another, so it could show up on Final Order Cutoff multiple times. Alright guys, the third and final reminder that I have for you guys is that I record this video on Thursdays. Today is Thursday, April 18th of 2024, and DC, Marvel, and all the independent publishers have until 5 p.m. on Friday, that is tomorrow, April 19th, to lock in what is on Final Order Cutoff. So that means they can add or remove books after I record this video. So I highly suggest before you guys put in your Final Order Cutoff orders, you check these 2 places to see if there's any other additional books that were added that are good speculation. And the first one up is the Comic Book Frontier. It is a great Facebook group run by my good friend Al that's all about comic book speculation, and he updates his information all the way up until the Final Order Cutoff order deadline dates as more information comes out over the weekend. Now, the other place that I really like is coverprice.com. They're a great comic book website for all your comic book needs. Links for both the Comic Book Frontier and the coverprice.com are down in the description below. They're great places to check to make sure you have the most up-to-date information on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff. So guys, check your sources before you put in your orders. Consider this video right here your appetizer and the Comic Book Frontier in coverprice.com as your entree for this weekend's Final Order Cutoff speculation. All right, guys, those are my 3 weekly reminders. Let's go ahead and cover this weekend's Final Order Cutoff order deadline dates. Alright guys, if you're interested in picking up any of the books that I'm going to talk about in today's video, you guys need to get your pre-orders in by April 21st for your DC Scout and Vault books, and April 22nd for your Marvel and all the other independent publishers. Now, a big reason why you want to get your pre-orders in by these dates is because you can save up to 20% off the cover price of these books. And if you're going to speculate on a book, why not try to make the most money possible and get a nice fat discount? So that is the big reason why you want to get your pre-orders in by these dates. Alright guys, those are this weekend's Final Order Cutoff order deadline dates. It's time to finally dive into this weekend's Final Order Cutoff cover lever picks. Alright guys, this is a nice weekend for cover lever picks because I found a total of 13 total covers that I think could do well on the secondary market, either right out of the gate or in the future. And the first cover up is Action Comics issue number 1065, the cover D variant done by Ivan Talavera. I wanted to say that's how I pronounce it. If I pronounce it right, guys, let me know down in the comments below. But guys, this cover is a gorgeous cover featuring Supergirl. Now guys, next up is Batman and Robin, issue number 9, the cover E, which is the 1:25 ratio variant done by Ivan Tao. This honestly looks like a Dan Moore cover to me, but it's done by Ivan Tao, and it features one of my favorite new characters of Flatline. Flatline is Damian Wayne's girlfriend, and it is just a gorgeous cover in my opinion. It's also number 9 and it's a 1:25, so it's probably going to be a little bit more rare, but it is a Batman book, and Batman books are usually ordered a little more heavily than a lot of other titles. So just that's all the little information to keep in mind before you speculate on this book. Now guys, next up is Black Widow and Hawkeye, issue number 3, with the variant cover done by Ben Harvey. There's nothing in the guts. This is just a gorgeous cover of Hawkeye. It is really good in my opinion, and I can see this cover possibly doing well in the future. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm giving you the information. You guys do what you want with it. All right, guys. Next up is Fall of the House of X, issue number 5, with the 1:25 ratio variant done by Nick Bradshaw. It's gorgeous. It's Storm. And yeah, it has some Arthur Hughes vibes to it. It is really good in my opinion. It's a 1:25. I don't know. What do you guys think? Next up is Fall of the House of X, issue number 5, the connecting variant cover done by David Nakayama. I first passed this cover over, and when I came back to it, all the characters look really freaking good on this cover. David Nakayama did a great job just like depicting everyone. I don't know. What do you guys think of this cover? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's a good book to speculate on? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below. Next up is Superior Spider-Man, issue number 7. This is the variant cover done by Humberto Ramos. I freaking love it. It is so good. Now, this is supposedly supposed to be the first Superior Spider-Boy on this cover. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not reading Superior Spider-Man, but this is a gorgeous cover, and Spider-Boy is a pretty cool character. And I would like to see how Superior Spider-Man is interacting with Spider-Boy. I don't know, but this cover is really freaking good. Now, guys, next up is The Immortal Thor, issue number 11, with the variant cover done by Arthur Adams. It's not his best, but it's really cool, and it is open order. It is issue number 11 of Thor. Thor is a big character, and it's Arthur Adams. I don't know. Those are all the pieces. Put them together. You guys do what you want. Next up, Ultimate Black Panther, issue number 4, with the Ultimate Special variant done by Boss Logic. This cover is freaking awesome. It is so cool. I really like this cover. It almost looks like a movie poster. Like this is a picture of two men, like with their faces next to each other. It's so cool. It is such a great cover. Boss Logic has been crushing in all these Black Panther ones. All right, guys, next up is Gun Hunting Collision Course, issue number 1, with the cover B variant and the cover K, which is the 1:20 ratio variant done by Adam Hughes. This is so good. And all collectors who collect Adam Hughes are gonna want this cover. This is so good. The version is like next level goodness. All right, guys, 3 more covers. Next up is Briar, issue number 5, with the cover B, which is the 1:10 ratio variant done by Jenny Frison. Now, I will admit, the above the neck looks a little weird. It's supposed to be a magical creature of some kind, but it is really nice. It's Briar. It's issue number 5, so it's not a super popular independent title. And this is a 1:10. How many shops are going to be ordering 10? I don't know. This could be a good pickup, especially for big Jenny Frison fans. All right, guys. Next up is Dark Ride, issue number 12, with the cover D variant, which is the 1:25 ratio variant done by Jay Foggett and Tony Fleece. Now, there have been 1:25s for every single issue of Dark Ride. This issue right here is the final issue, so this will be the final Disney homage for Dark Ride. And this is homaging, obviously, Toy Story. It is really good, and a lot of these have done well on the secondary market, but I think this one could do really well because it's Toy Story, and there are lots of Toy Story fans out there. Now, guys, the final cover that I want to share with you guys is Something is Killing the Children, issue number 37, with the 1:50 ratio variant done by Dustin Gwynn. Dustin Gwynn has never done a Something is Killing the Children cover before, and this one is really, really good. And I think it could be a little rare because Something is Killing the Children has been on hiatus for a long time, like a long time. And this is like the first issue in a while, so I don't think a lot of shops are going to be ordering 50 copies of it. So this could be rare. It's done by an awesome artist, and Erica Slaughter just looks freaking epic on the cover. So, I don't know, maybe? Maybe this is a good buy? I don't know. Guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. All right, guys, those are all the cover lever picks that I found on this weekend's final order cutoff. Let's go ahead and move over to the next section, which are my second prints, facsimiles, and beyond. We're going to start this off with the fourth print, not a second print. Guys, the first one up is Ultimate Black Panther, issue number 1, with the fourth print variant done by Stefano Casilli. It's pretty good. Moving on, we got Ultimate Black Panther, issue number 1, with the fourth print blank cover variant. You obviously need the fourth print blank cover for Ultimate Black Panther, issue number 1. And next up is X-Men 97, issue number 2, with the second print variant done by Marvel Animation. All right, guys, next up is a Kogan Brutalizer of Gods, issue number 1, with the second print variant done by Dutun Akande. I've never heard of this book before. It's really cool that an independent like this is getting a second print, and I know nothing about this book, but there is a second print for it. So guys, do your research. See if this book is worthy of you going after it. All right, guys, next up is Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars, issue number 6, with the facsimile edition, and also the facsimile foil edition, because we all need that. And there's also Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars issue number 6 with the 1:25 ratio variant, because we definitely need that. And this 1:25 is done by Salvador Larroca. I really hate that Marvel is doing these 1:25s variants for a facsimile book. I don't know. I think that is just a huge money grab, and I wish they weren't doing them, because I'm sure for some people they're gonna feel like they have to pick this up to to have all the versions of this book. But I don't know. Marvel, I think you're doing us dirty. Editor Bruce here, jumping in. So I'm editing this video Friday morning before I start work, and I found 8 more second prints to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and talk about these books. First up is Transformers issue number 5, the second print variant done by Jason Howard. Now that is the cover A. There's also Transformers issue number 5, the second print variant cover B, also done by Jason Howard. One has a Decepticon, the other one has an Autobot. But let's continue, because next up is Transformers issue number 6, the second print variant cover A, done by Jason Howard. This one is so freaking cool. And next up we have Transformers issue number 6, the second print variant cover B, done by Jason Howard. And let's continue. Next up is Void Rivals issue number 7, the second print variant done by Jason Howard. And after that is I Heart Skull Crusher issue number 2 with the second print variant done by Simon DeMeo. Simon DeMeo is such a great artist. This cover is fantastic. Now next up is Cobra Commander issue number 2 with the second print variant done by Jason Howard. And last but not least is Uncanny Valley issue number 1 with the second print variant done by Dave Watcher? How do you pronounce that? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, guys, those are all the second prints, facsimiles, and beyond that I was able to find on this weekend's final order cutoff. Let's go ahead and move over to the next section, which are all the books that had a little something in the guts. Man, the last few weeks, it's been really sparse for anything in the guts for speculation. It's kind of sad. I really like it when there's at least something for us to talk about and chew on and get a little excited about. But the 3 books that I'm about to talk about, I don't think anyone's going to get super excited about, but let's go ahead and talk about them. So first up is Outsiders, issue number 7. Now there's a death of an unknown character, and if you read the synopsis, it sounds like it could be someone important, but this Outsiders team is made up of Batwoman, Batwing, and the Drummer. The Drummer is a new character, and they fought like a bunch of weird villains so far, and monsters and things. So I don't know who could die in this that would actually be important and make you want to speculate on it. So definitely do your research and see if you can find out who this is before you spend any money speculating on this. And do characters ever stay dead for a long time? It's DC and Marvel. They come back all the time. Next up is the Ultimates issue number 1. Now this has the new Ultimates roster of Iron Lad, Captain America, Doom, Thor, and Sif. That's a really interesting lineup for an Ultimates team. All the Ultimates books have done a little well right out of the gate, but is this one? Is the 4th Ultimate book going to be too much for to actually make money on the secondary market? I have a feeling it might be. The cover A is absolutely fantastic. It's done by Dyke Ruan, one of my favorite artists right now. The rest of the covers are okay. The John Tyler Christopher negative space variant is kind of okay, but the rest of them are just, I don't know, mediocre at best. It's like, I don't know, if you do an Ultimate books, you should do something that we can all get really excited about, like a really badass cover. And the best we got is this Dyke Ruan. So I don't know, maybe the Ultimates. And the last book that we're going to talk about is Dark Ride, issue number 12, which is the series finale, the final issue of this book. It was a kind of popular series when it first came out. Those 1 in 25s were doing really well on the secondary market right out of the gate. And then delays and everything else kind of like took the sizzle out of it. Like the pan totally cooled. And yeah, I can see this being a really cool horror movie made in the future on like HBO or something. But as of right now, this is the final issue, and if you want to do some like super long-term spec, the final issue of a book like this probably is not going to be hugely ordered, especially with all the delays and everything. So this book will probably have a small printing. So if the book does get picked up and there is some more buzz around it, I can see this possibly doing well like way into the future, like 20 years into the future. And if you're that kind of speculator, this book might be for you. So yeah, those were all the books that I was able to find on this weekend's final order cutoff that had a little something in the guts as of Thursday, April 18th. Don't forget, DC, Marvel, and Indies have up until tomorrow to lock in what's actually on final order cutoff. So make sure you're checking the Comic Book Frontier and coverprice.com before you're finalizing your orders for this weekend's final order cutoff. All right, guys, let's go ahead and find out what my spec picks of the week are. Normally, in a place like this, I would say save your money. But I think there is one book that possibly could do well that I think you guys should take a look at. And it's probably a cover that you noticed when I was going through the cover lever picks. And you're like, yeah, that's probably going to do well in the secondary market. And that is Gun Honey Collision Course, issue number 1 with the cover K, which is the 1 in 20 ratio variant done by Adam Hughes. I know the cover B will probably be heavily ordered because it's a cover B. A store doesn't have to order 20 copies to get it, and it's Adam Hughes. The fact that Adam Hughes' name is attached to it in the artwork is so good. It is so good. I think that one is probably not the one to go for, but that cover K, which is the 1 in 20 ratio variant, I do think this is a cover that you want to take a look at and possibly pick up for speculation, because I think this is going to sell immediately. Like right out of the gate, it's going to go. People are going to want it. I'm chasing after it. I know some people in the Discord are chasing after it. So it's going to be popular. So I think if you were going to speculate on a book, I think this is the one to go after. Gun Honey Collision Course, issue number 1, the cover K, the 1 in 20 ratio variant, not the cover B. That one's going to be easy to get for everyone. The cover K is going to be a little difficult, and I think people are going to pay a little bit extra to get their hands on that cover. Now, to speak about one more, or maybe two more, keep an eye on Batman and Robin, issue number 9, the cover E, the 1 in 25 ratio variant. I think there's going to be a lot of people who do like this cover. Flatline is a really cool new character, and this is a 1 in 25 for issue number 9. So later in runs, 1 in 25s get a little more rare because not as many stores are ordering as many copies of that book, unless the story is like amazing. I don't hear a lot of people talking about Batman and Robin, so I don't think this book is being heavily ordered by anyone except for like probably My Comic Shop and people at their level. But keep an eye on it. Maybe this book will do well on the secondary market as well. And yeah, I think everything else. Oh, and also Briar issue number 5, the cover B, which is the 1 in 10 ratio variant done by Jenny Frison. I think with Briar not being a super popular independent title, there's not going to be a ton of shops that are going to get this 1 in 10. So this is a good cover to keep an eye on. And also Dark Ride issue number 12, the 1 in 25 ratio variant done by Jay Foxett and Tony Fleece. It's a Disney homage. It's a 1 in 25 for the final issue of Dark Ride, which I think with all the delays, this book could also be a good bet as well. All right, guys, those are all my spec picks for this week. I kind of rambled a little bit there at the end, but the one to really chase after, I think, is Gun Honey Collision Course issue number 1, that 1 in 20. All right, guys, those are my spec picks of the week. We can go ahead and move over to the next section, which is my final order cutoff, recommendations to read. All right, guys, there wasn't actually a lot of new number 1s on this weekend's final order cutoff. Usually there is a bunch and I can sift through them, read all the synopses, get excited for something. But there was one book that I did get pretty excited about, even though there weren't that many books, and that is Ultimates issue number 1. Now this is coming from the writer, I believe, of Dennis Camp, but he spells his name with a Z instead of an S, so I'm not sure if that's Dennis or Deniz. I don't know. I'm probably completely butchering your name, and I'm sorry, but it also has art by Juan Fiergi. So, The Ultimates. The Ultimates is the Avengers in the Ultimate Universe. The Ultimate books have been so fun so far, and I got my fingers crossed that the Ultimates, the Avengers of the Ultimate Universe, is also going to be really fun. I liked Iron Lad and Doom's interaction at the beginning of all the storytelling by Jonathan Hickman when he was setting up the whole universe. I thought they were freaking awesome. And when they went out and got Sif and Thor and Captain America, I thought that was really cool. And the fact that they're coming together on a team, I'm just really, really excited. But let me go ahead and read the synopsis to you guys. The Ultimates return to greatness, spinning out of Jonathan Hickman's and Stefano Casilli's Ultimate Universe issue number 1, Rising Star, Dennis Camp, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, and Juan Fiergi assemble an all-new team of Ultimates in a series that kicks off in the next chapter of the new Ultimate line. 6 months ago, Tony Stark sent Peter Parker a radioactive spider to set him back on course to become Spider-Man. Since then, Iron Lad, Tony Stark, Captain America, Doom, Thor, and Sif have begun to do the same for other lost heroes, building a network of superpowered heroes hungry for change. Now they must band together to destroy their Maker's Council and restore freedom and free will to a world ruled from the shadows. That just sounds really freaking cool, and I can't wait to see their journey of them finding these other heroes and giving them back their powers. That's going to be really freaking cool, and I can't wait for that ultimate battle between the Ultimates and the Maker's Council coming together and bashing heads. I think that's probably going to be freaking epic. It's going to be really good. And hopefully Jonathan Hickman is like the mastermind, like pulling all the strings, making sure that Dennis Camp is writing a really good story. I hope he is, because other books have been really good, and I really want this book to be great. All right, guys, that is the book that I'm really excited about, that I think you guys have to make sure you tell your local comic book shop, and I'm sure most of you already have. But guys, let's go ahead and move over to the final section, which is next week's new comic book day cover lover picks that I think could do well on the secondary market. Alright guys, there are 7 total covers on next week's new comic book day that I think could do well on the secondary market. Now, I've covered a lot of these when they were on final order cutoff, but it's good to remind you guys when these books are about to come out on new comic book day. Now, when these books are coming out is April 24th of 2024, so make sure you guys are keeping an eye out for these covers if you see them at your local comic book shop. And first up is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 48 with the 1:25 ratio variant done by Francisco Mobili. This cover is freaking epic. It is so good. It is so good. It's everything. It's everything about Spider-Man to me. He's flying through the city. You got some city workers right there. The artwork is just freaking incredible. And I think this could do well in the future. Now guys, next up is Something is Killing the Children, issue number 36 with the 1:100 ratio variant done by Jay Lee. Now the reason why I put this issue on the list is because it's a 1:100. And how many stores are ordering 100 copies of Something is Killing the Children? If you were talking about issue number 16, different story. But issue number 36, after all the hiatuses, I think this book is probably going to be pretty rare because I don't think a lot of shops are ordering 100 copies of this book. Now guys, next up is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 150, the cover G variant, which is the 1:50 ratio variant. Now this is done by Kevin Eastman and Sophia Campbell. Now what I like about this is that it's a 1:50, and this is the climactic finale of Sophia Campbell's run on this book. It's going to start up with Jason Aaron in the future, but this is the end of a huge run. She's been on this book for so long. Personally, I have not liked the run. I tried getting into it multiple times and I didn't like it. But that does not mean there's not huge Turtle fans out there that are going to want this book, or maybe new Turtle fans that start collecting this run and they want it. And I think this book will probably be the most rare. But guys, do your own research. This is just a really cool book in my opinion. I can see this being sought after in the future. All right, guys, next up is X-Men Forever issue number 2 with the 1:25 ratio variant done by Arthur Adams. 1:25, Arthur Adams, Mystique. It's gonna sell. It's gonna sell. This is so much better than the Laura Kinney one, which is super sad, but she actually has a nose, which is fantastic, and she just looks really freaking good. This is a great cover, and it's gonna sell right out of the gate. I mean, I'm gonna try to score myself a copy, but I know it's gonna go right over ratio price immediately. It's Arthur Adams. Arthur Adams always sells. All right, guys, next up is Jackpot in Black Hat, issue number 2 with the 1:25 ratio variant, also done by Arthur Adams, but this one is sadly not as good. The Mystique one is fantastic. fantastic. This one is okay. I don't think this is going to do as well as X-Men Forever issue number 2, but it's Arthur Adams, it's Black Cat. I could see it possibly doing well. I'm mainly just giving you guys this information, and you guys do what you want with it. All right, guys, next up is Spectrograph, issue number 1 with the cover F variant, done by Jenny Frison. It's a Frison on a James Tynion book. You gotta at least check it out and see if it does well. I can see this doing well because this is a really freaking cool cover. All right, guys, the final cover that I want to share with you guys is Ultimate X-Men, issue number 1 with the 3rd print variant, done by Sanford Green. Man, Sanford Green has been putting out some freaking awesome covers, and this cover right here is so good. Featuring armor, it's issue number 1 of that awesome Ultimate X-Men series. Yeah, I can see this doing well in the future because this is probably one of the best covers for Ultimate X-Men. I like the Dyke Ruan for issue number 1, but this Sanford Green is probably my second favorite. All right, guys, that is it for this video. That was the final cover. We've done all the speculations that we can do. We've done all the recommendations, so now it's time to wrap this video up. All right, guys, we are at the end of today's video. Now, I say this at the end of every single video that I make. If you guys have watched from the beginning, the very first frame, all the way until right now, I just gotta tell you, you guys are legends. Thank you for being such huge supporters of the channel. It helps the channel out so much. You guys, look down. Have you guys smashed that like button just yet? If you haven't, do me a favor and smash that like button. All right, guys, I got one more thing to say. If you guys watch that video and you guys enjoy comic book content, but you guys are not subscribed, what are you doing? Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notifications, and smash that like button. All right, guys, have yourself a great weekend, a great final order cutoff, and I'll catch you guys next week on the Wednesday pull list. All right, guys, see you then. Peace.